What's up, everyone? This is Soul, and we're back for another episode of Leak Season. Although this is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit different. Now, of course, it's going to be live. That's how I usually do them. It's going to be me spending my time just talking smack about all these stories and these other things that these boys and girls have been writing because they're all mega fake. And I'll be coming off with that sort of seriousness and attitude. But again, today is going to be a little bit different because I'm not just going to be talking about fake leaks. I'm going to be talking about fake drama talk, smack talk. I'm not sure. The other day, someone on my Discord channel posted something like, hey, I know you do leaks and stuff, but like, what about this drama stuff from 9.0? And I took like just a very, very quick glance at this because I like looking at these things live and reacting to them. But I glanced at this thing that it's one of those, here's what really happened during WoW development, and here's why things are the way that they are. So a lot of times, everything that we've been seeing in this leak season that I've been presenting to your folks at home and elsewhere has been what if it was like this? And we see a reflection of the writer wanting certain things, a bit of getting a sort of self-satisfaction of making something cool and presenting it as a what if scenario for WoW expansions. This is a little bit different when it comes to, insider talk. This is what it's trying to make itself out to be. And I'm sorry that I'm breaking this down. You can use the navigation just in case you want to just, get right to it. When it comes to this sort of fan fiction, it's very believable because it really tugs emotionally at, it's meant to tug emotionally at the reader. Like, oh, this thing that I don't like about the game. Oh, here's the inside story. I knew it. I totally knew that. God damn it, effing Blizz. And that's, that's what draws people into these sorts of leaks. So it might be fun. And like I said, I'm going to be talking smack about that. Let's just get right into it. Boop. So this was a thing that was in 4chan. And I'm not very good at reading 4chan. So I might need some help as we're going through this. I don't know if I'm going to screw something up or read something wrong. But I think this is let me make this bigger still. Okay, cool. All right. Have some Shadowlands leaks, says Obvious Anonymous. I finally got out of my own personal hell at Blizzard for a nice job where I'm not treated like shit. So here's some gossip for you. This is not lore, by the way. This was posted 4 days ago, 4 days before this recording. And so this already sets the premise that this is a pissed off worker, and he's like, screw it, I'm just gonna reveal all the crap that has been going on the inside. So let's get to it. Shadowlands was almost entirely rewritten 6 months before the beta. Zorval, how do you spell that wrong? Zorval was the rune carver. The Maldraxxi Primus was actually the jailer. I feel like this was... when did that... There was a Wowhead article that came out not too long ago. So I wonder if it's based on this. So how do you spell that wrong? You maniac. The focus was on a war between forces trying to control the realms of death. The militaristic Maldraxxus, the authoritarian Kyrians, the indifferent natural order of Ardenweald, the Hedonites of Revendreth, the anarchists of the Maw, the insurgents of Thros, oh, there's even more, and the Devourers being let in the cracks in reality being caused by this conflict. The Devourers being let in the cracks in reality so the Devourers caused the brokenness, I guess. The real villains were Sartanathrius and his dreadlords, Muizala, and the dead Loa and Gorak Tull, and the Okay, him, lots of ands. Okay. The jailer was just that, a jailer. He was not the villain, but the jailer of the damned, and Sylvanas was meant to get her redemption arc earlier and revealed to have done what she did in Battle for Azeroth to strengthen the jailer's forces to fight the war for the afterlife on all those fronts, lest the law what an elegant word, lest the laws of life and death on Azeroth be broken, and the Forsaken would never be able to truly die and be free of their endless torment. Wow, that's a twist. Oribos was never meant to be more than a transport hub between zones and intended to be as regularly visited as the Heart Chamber in a Battle for Azeroth. Well, that's a big transport hub. Actually, I think it is as regularly visited as the Heart Chamber in Battle for Azeroth, outside of professions. So I think this came true, didn't it? Does the green... Okay, so help me out with this, chat. The green text means this is still the same post, right? Or is this like a new post? Because I can't tell because it's fucking anonymous. I'm gonna assume that it is because, like, yeah, I think they kept saying more stuff here. Anyway, Tazavesh, the City of Secrets, was the real hub. Only it was called Korthia at the time and was not a dungeon, but the expansion's hub city. So, it was never planned to be a dungeon. It was a... I mean, it definitely looks and feels and is shaped like a dungeon with dungeon rooms and dungeon platforms. But I mean, the WoW team actually does a pretty good job of turning areas into dungeons, but oh well. What we know in-game as Korthia is part of the scrapped raid for the original 9.1 Thros, the Blighted Land. You know, that actually... No... That sounds kind of plausible, because I've always seen Korthia as like, oh, it feels like Trustvar. It feels like I'm there in that place. Although it's like there are ruins and stuff that specifically make it feel like, you know, a different area. Anyway. Players would team up with the Winter Queen, Ysera, and Holnheim Mountain to rescue Tyrande from the clutches of the Drust, with the reveal of the Night Warrior actually being the power of Thros and not Elune, with the shadowy entities of Thros influencing Night Elf culture long before the Drust, along with the connection to the curse of the Worgen. So, so this is one of those... Oh, so it was this all along, which I'm sure would piss off a lot of people. You know, people who were like, oh, but I thought the Mother Moon was helping me out. Nope, it's been Thros this whole time. Which doesn't quite sound right, because I think of like different novels and, you know, other bits of Warcraft history, and to say that it's been something else all this time sounds, you know, that sounds like way too big of a retcon. Tyrande would have been the second to last boss in this raid after losing control and becoming a masked slave to Gorak Tull. This was repurposed into Anduin, being possessed by the jailer instead. Well, okay, you know what I'm not getting though is why. I hope we get into why. Like, so many things were changed at the last second. We would, depending on faction, use a connection to Bonsam Day and the Loa, or the Druids of Cruel Tier in 9.1 to make a safe hub in Thros, where we would level up along with the quest progression. Think Molten Front. Oh, okay, so there would have been like a build-up thing. Okay. You know, this whole thing, you know, what makes this plausible and not plausible is that what this person is asserting, oh, this is what it would have been, it doesn't sound any better than what we've got. At least as it is, it doesn't interest me any more than what we actually got. While it never reached significant development before the rewrites, the original on-paper idea was three content tiers post-launch. That's hard to swallow. This dude's saying that 6 months. Where is it? Shadowlands was almost entirely rewritten 6 months before the beta. 6 months before the beta was so the hold on, this is bullshit. 6 months before the alpha started in April, and I think the beta started, probably July, or I'm just gonna say July because I don't remember too well. I just remember that the alpha started in April. So you're saying, so this dude's saying in January, Shadowlands was rewritten, right? And only 2 months prior to that, it was announced. So 2 months after they announced Shadowlands, they rewrote the whole damn thing. Is that right? Okay, buddy. Okay. Here we go. While it never reached significant development before the rewrites, the original on paper was 3 content tiers post-launch. Launch would deal with the net. Yeah, so they decided to rewrite this whole thing a month, 2 months before the work from home situation happened. Right? They already decided to shorten things. Okay. The launch would have dealt with the Nathrius and the Dreadlords. 9.1 would have been Throws. 9.2 would be the Troll Raid. Just guys, we need a Troll Raid. Let's go. Troll Raid. 9.2 would have been the Troll Raid that got cut down to become the other side against Mozala and his connections to the Lich King. And finally, 9.3 Eternity's End, where all these conflicts have allowed the walls of reality to break down. Shadowlands are appearing in skies all over Azeroth, Outland, and Draenor as devourers would pour in and the players would ally with remnants of the old gods, such as the Galaxy, to combat an outer god. The raid would be a greatest hits road trip around locations in the vein of Dragonsoul, but on a larger scale as we close rifts, stopping devourers from attacking places such as Thunderbluff and Grizzly Hills. This never made it far before being scrapped. So if this was, I can buy that this was written, that this could have been a thing. I also buy that it never made it far before being scrapped because it kind of sucks. It doesn't, it doesn't sound good. Maybe it could have been good, right? Maybe I could be wrong, but at least the way it's being presented like this, no, doesn't sound great anyway. Bane was meant to have a full questline involving his father and his ancestors and finding a new path for the Tauren struggling with their identity in the Horde. Oh, Thrall was meant to have a questline involving Drekthar, who was originally going to die of old age during 9.0. And Durotan, which would reconnect him to his roots and restore him as a shaman. Those two side stories would have been kind of cool, I think. Jaina was meant to have one involving the Proudmoore family and her father's imprisonment in Revendreth. He would, however, refuse to change and choose Oblivion, but this was reworked for Garrosh. What? This was reworked for Garrosh. Oh, okay. So the whole Afterlives thing, instead of Garrosh, it would have been Jaina's daddy, which would have been very unexciting by comparison. I mean, seeing the Afterlives thing and then seeing the screams of Garrosh, that was cool. That was like oh shit, now we know what happened to his ass. Seeing it with what's his name, with Jaina Daddy, not as cool, but it's like, oh wow, look at that, that's going on. Man, he's been in Revendreth for a little while. Okay. Anduin was meant to have a long quest line seeking his father's spirits for his advice, along with Tialia, who he would form a romantic relationship with. Ugh. There was some indecisiveness about a twist of Arthas being Anduin's real oh god. He gets into that shit. So there's some whack ass conspiracy theory that Anduin that Arthas is actually Anduin's dad. This is trying to legitimize it. Oh god. Something, and Anduin questioning everything to bring him closer to Tialia, whose father was the Lich King, as well focused on the reveal that Varian always knew Arthas was his father, but never made him any less his son, because honor and bravery is a choice, not something a man is born with. Well, I'm glad that was cut. These were all cut as the rewrites and a reduced scope budget, meaning we had to drastically scale back the entire expansion. You know what? Good. Come on, dude. It's embracing all the weird ass fan theories that were out there. I was hoping for like insider drama or something like that, but this is just humor. I appreciate that. There were daily quests designed to ground the afterlives more to the mortal worlds. The only trace of this in the final game is a single quest to follow Akirian to Red Ridge Mountains to see a man die fighting a ghoul. His name, what? Oh crap, I forgot his name. Originally, the Scourge running rampant along with the Shadow Moon Orcs and Alkandun Draenei's death-based magics. What? Originally, the Scourge running rampant along with Shadow Moon Orc and Alkandun's Draenei's death-based magics running haywire because the events of Shadowlands was meant to be a real theme of the expansion. Wait, what are Alkandun Draenei's death-based magics? What are they doing there? Well, players going to these brave last stands to carry the dying NPCs to their correct afterlife and effectively make the player's spirit a spirit healer or Valkyr seeing things from the other side of death. I mean, it's interesting, but part of the cool thing about that sort of premise is that it makes the Shadowlands still feel like a mystery. Under this sort of premise, we wouldn't get all of these things explained. We're still, you know, the whole inner workings of how the Shadowlands works would remain behind a veil of sorts, if nothing else was going to be revealed. This was the most sudden and hasty rework in WoW's history. Well, yeah, given that they announced stuff and then they changed things 2 months afterwards. Let's see if we find out why. Many scenes had dialogue written with either no knowledge who would be in the scene or where and why it was taking place, so everything was extremely vague and non-committal, especially with all the character development cut. From the initial reception to now, Shadowlands has been considered a wash like Warlords of Draenor. We were just told to power through it. Oh, here we go, the drama. We were just told to power through it, get it over with as soon as possible while working on 10.0 at the same time. Okay, even without the scandals, this has been murder on moral, where there are so many points we want to fix and develop before shipping it, but we were told the current engagement metrics, oh god, we're told the current engagement metrics make this a waste of time and resources better spent working on 10.0 instead. We know Shadowlands was a disappointment, but it was written off before 9.1 launched in favor of course corrections instead, and take the patch content suffered. None of the fake leaks have been right about 10.0 at all. Wow, that's the one believable thing in this whole write-up. We never described Eternity's End as the closing chapter of Warcraft 3 internally. This only showed up in marketing after media outlets began making attention-grabbing articles about one of our competitors ending a 10-year story arc. Projection! Personally, this was a misfire, trying to compare and contrast at a time when we honestly couldn't. So we came off looking desperate and needy. Even in the office, the walking on water stuff is still joked about. More projection. Wonderful. People who might have been reading this, here's where they get their takeaways. It's like the drama and like kind of the what's the word I want to use? Kind of the not verification, but more like the vindication of their feelings. That's what this section is, and I don't think it did a good job of that either. I don't think it did a great job of like getting people like, yeah, I knew it, grr, Blizz. They couldn't even get that right here. Come on, leaker. There's no, like, this person doesn't even say the reason why the story changes happened. Not a thing. Just that they did. And if someone's going to spill that much and not talk about why, who the hell are you? 9.2 was the lowest returning user rate of any content update in the game's history, which is interesting because it's only been a couple weeks. Lower even than the patch 6.1 Garrison updates. Oh, more of that projection. We expected a lower interest from players, but never to this degree. The sentiment from certain people in a leadership capacity I can only describe as spending their days huffing their own farts, laced with gaslighting and toxic positivity that is less blame on their part and more blame on certain influential content creators and streamers choosing to put a spotlight on competing product. What the hell sense does that make? So the big thing on 14, spiking, there are a lot of reasons. But 14 spiking up, what does that have to do with having to rewrite all of Shadowlands? Because that happened before Final Fantasy 14 got its resurgence of players. This doesn't make sense at all. Even trying to assert that they're trying to blame content. Yeah, because that happened after the fact. I'm going to keep going. None of us grunts liked what happened with Sylvanas any more than you did. Don't expect WoW to show up on Xbox ever post Microsoft merger. The game is entirely designed with add-ons in mind, and it's been as long as I've worked. Well, no shit, because they've always been there. Do you not? Have you ever worked on your own game before? 2021 was the first time since I began working at... 2021 was the first time since I began working at Blizzard in 2011. So this person started in 2011. The game is entirely designed with add-ons in mind and has been for as long as I worked there. As if they weren't. As if add-ons weren't a thing before 2011. This is so not well thought out. Anyway, let me try to get through this because we're almost done. 2021 was the first time since I began working at Blizzard in 2011 where the term free-to-play was ever brought up. Do not expect this, however. The sub numbers are at their lowest, but the WoW token and cash shop is extremely profitable, so expect more content in the store. You almost literally say nothing here. What an empty statement. So the term free-to-play was ever brought up, but it's not going to happen because such and such. That all that springs to mind. I'm free, never need to touch on this again. The project's internal name is Paradox. You'll find out in April why. There's nothing. So here's what's wrong. There's a lot wrong, obviously. There's a lot wrong with this leak. If this person is upset, I finally got out of my own personal hell at Blizzard for a nice job where I'm not treated like shit, so here's some gossip for you. Nothing on 10.0. Nothing on Paul Keebit being promoted. Nothing new that we're learning here. All we're getting are like little connections to, why some things might be the way they are. I've said that Tazavesh should have been the hub for Shadowlands, which I would like, but trying to pass it off as truth, it's like, it would have been easier if Tazavesh was the hub. It would be harder to make it into a dungeon than to just leave it as a player hub. Yeah, a lot of the shit just doesn't make any goddamn sense. But to me, the killer ones are one, were not, they didn't leak anything that was like verifiable or nothing that we would know. It would have been cool if this leaker was like, okay, so here's what would have happened, here's what actually happened, here's the plot around Zoval and the Primus and all that stuff. But the big thing is, why change it? There's no reason why things were changed, or not even like the leaker trying to speculate why any of these things were changed. This thing is fake as fuck. Come on, dude. This one gets like a 1 point something, less than a 2, but at least they tried. But they just didn't do a great job. Not even like the emotional tugs really came off very well for this one. This is another 4chan. I think this one's shorter. Yeah, another 4chan leak. World of Warcraft. Armageddon. I don't want to close my eye. Anyway, I can't post images, but here's the blurb. Quote, saw some promotional stuff for 10.0. The expansion is called Armageddon. Wow, like Cataclysm. Okay, the logo has a glowing blue swirl look to it. I don't remember word for word what the plot blurb said, but it was basically, first ones are attacking Azeroth to take the world soul or some shit. Boom, trailer. The first ones are attacking Azeroth to take the world soul or some shit. That'd be kind of funny. One of the taglines was like, from beyond creation, and the end times have come. They're going to sell Prince of Terralion with glowing eyes and cracked scars that are also glowing. The main expansion feature, as far as I can tell, instead of a new race or class, is opening up all race class combos. Cool. Demon Hunter schools for gnomes. The main expansion feature, as far as I can tell, the screenshot showed a skeletal bear form, a blindfolded horned goblin with glaives, and a blood elf summoning lightning with a red and yellow totem that was almost like a collection of seashells. Come on, blood elves, seashells? They are not people of the beach. Have you seen the color of their skin? Or at least, before Shadowlands and all the additional skin colors? Dude, they do not look like beach people at all. I didn't see zone names, but the screenshots I saw showed some big underground cavern with mole people riding giant spiders, a giant checkered desert. I don't know what that means. A giant checkered desert with a floating castle in the background and a big green and purple fishy dragon monster thing. A tropical island with a blood elf, though they had red eyes. A city there, and reptilian hawkstriders, and a big sci-fi city that looked like a cross between classical Greek buildings and cyberpunk, with what I presume are first one's things. More covenants, and with them probably more anima / Azerite / artifact grinds. The covenants are all based on the 6 main magic alignment things. Like, I saw some promotional stuff for 10.0. The expansion is called Armageddon. Armageddon. All race class combos. Show me the gnome. Show me the Volpira. It's like, hey Volpira, you want to fight demons? And they're all like, not doing anything right now, so yeah, let's do it. And then, I sacrifice everything. Volpira had a bad day. It's like, jilted lover, forget it. I'm sacrificing everything. Next. That was a short one. Cool. Okay, new leak. WoW 10.0 Below and Beyond. Another one from 4chan. Okay, this is also not very long. Hey friends. Hi. Yesterday appeared a new leak in Chinese on 4chan, but has been deleted. Meanwhile, sadly, wait, 4chan deletes things? Interesting. Please note that I am not a native English speaker. Oh, they got excuses, but I tried to translate it as good as I can for you. The original author has not has not posted its source, but some commented that he is known to be sometimes surprisingly correct with his predictions. Here is the leak. He is known to be sometimes surprisingly correct with his predictions. What? Sometimes we guess right? Crazy. Below and beyond. World of Warcraft B&B. Yeah. Expansion features. Explore 6 new zones within the Dragon Isles and the inner core of Azeroth. I don't know how to pronounce bold text, so. Shape and manipulate time with the new hero class, the Chronomancer. Mancer. Bind yourself to a draconic bloodline and learn the arts of gliding. Is there an art to gliding? Bro, I can like just pop my goblin glider and that's art, bro. Become a Hearthstone legend in your local tavern. That sounds skippable. Travel through the sands of Time E and relive the greatest tales of Azeroth. What about the Caverns of Time? Find forgotten treasures with the completely revamped archaeology system. That's the one nice thing that I've seen so far. Build your own racing cards and compete at the Earthen Circuit. You know, that's nice and different. Build your own racing. That's a new one. I have not seen. So champion, Titan Slayer, Dragon Killer. You want to race? World of Warcraft, the Fast and the Furious. The plots. We got the whole plot. We have the whole thing. Okay, so 925. We begin. Harbingers of Uncreation. A lunar eclipse covers the sky in crimson as meteors shower all over Azeroth. This leads to the rise of the Order of the Light in the Eastern Kingdoms and ignites an uproar among the Centaur, I'm sure they mean, and Quilboar in Kalimdor. Otherworldly rifts open up all over Azeroth. Harbingers of Uncreation. I get it, that's the patch name. Nosdormus foresees the consummation of everything that is, by that what never was. I'm sure this dude, when he wrote that quote, he was like, oh, I think I got it, guys. The consummation of everything that is, by what never was. Oh, so good. And then he proceeded to masturbate. A future that is inevitable, unless we unravel its origin. Doesn't that just mean figuring it out now? before it happens? This dude is so high. He is so high. This leads to a quest for the long-forgotten knowledge of the beginning, hidden in the cradle of creation, the so-called Dragon Isles, and the ancient archives of the Earthen, within the inner core of Azeroth. Proceeds to bong just a massive rip before he starts typing the next paragraph. The Tenno, the Blight of Zat. Wait, Tenno doesn't have a patch name, bruh. Come on, man. Through the secrets of Moonin Magellas, the Explorer. Moonin Magellas. Is that an actual NPC name? Through the research of this person, probably a dwarf, the Explorers League find an ancient gateway to the inside of Azeroth in the Terrace of the Makers. Meanwhile, Rathian explored the Dragon Isles, floating peninsula. Floating, yeah! Someone actually did a floating island. Thanks for listening, leak people. Floating peninsulas on an ocean of clouds and tentacles. Wow, that's immediately sexual. The wildlife, of the Isles is haunted by unbridled madness caused by the empty shell of an old god. And there's still one around. Okay, great. The witch doctor Zando freed the vessel of Zelatath. Oh, you mean Zelatath is an old god. And the witch doctor Zando freed this body. and elevate it into the sky in order to reunite it with her mind. The heroes of Azeroth must face the servant of corruption in the temple of Atal Drakar to stop the awakening of the Black Empire through the power of an unleashed old god. Wait, I thought Xal'atath like yeeted off into space. So it's like, she's like, farewell, champion. I'll see you again. Mwah. And then, but then she just like, she immediately stopped, be like, oh, you know what? Oh, that's a bit too far. I don't want to go. There's my body right over there. Yeah. Hey, it's a fake leak. This person's hella high. I can't explain it either. 10-1. The secret of the first ones. In the inner core of their homeworld, the champions of Azeroth discover the ancient city of Titania. super original, bro. Where they meet its inhabitants, the Deep Dwarves and the Trogvar, a somewhat civilized and surprisingly enlightened Trog species. They also see the havoc Sargeras' blade wreaked beneath the crust of the earth. Elementals feast with insatiable hunger on the blood of their Earth Mother and threaten to destroy all life inside of Azeroth. In order to reveal the secrets of the first ones hidden in the archives of Titania, the heroes of Azeroth must first take a stand against the Queen of Stones deep within the heart of the Earth Song. So the influence of the first ones. So what's kind of interesting about Azeroth the Titan and the world is that what we've seen on Azeroth are evidence of like the Titan's influence after, you know, their little tussle with the old gods and Yasiraj getting, you know, yanked out, and the Titans are like, oh shit, we fucked up. And then the other Titans are like, no, Aman'Thul, you fucked up. And Aman'Thul's like, well, why didn't you stop me, guys? And they're like, because you got the big beard, which makes you the boss. And Aman'Thul's like, well, whatever. It's, you know, help me fix this shit. Azeroth is full of machinery, presumably Titan-made machinery, in order to, you know, she's like on life support, sort of. She's on ancient Titan-sized life support. But apparently, first one stuff is inside Azeroth 2. Was this city built before or after the Titans visited? I'm assuming after, because otherwise why would they call it Titania and all that? 10-2. The Dawn of the Light. With the knowledge gathered from the Dragon Isles and the archives of Titania, the Bronze Dragonflight unravels the true nature of Azeroth as first one of reality and the existence of an eighth cosmic force, the antithesis. Dude, the antithesis of reality. Whoa. Meanwhile, under the influence of Turalyon and Kalia Menethil, the Order of the Light spreads more and more its dominance throughout the Eastern Kingdoms. Anduin opposes Turalyon and barely escapes with his life, as he recognizes the similarity between the enforced obedience of the Light and the domination magic of the jailer. No, not the jailer. Bruh. What's his name? The Primus. The King of Stormwind becomes the first Void... becomes the first Void Paladin under the tutelage of Locust Walker. Of Locust Walker and Illyria Windrunner. Someone's on... With the help of the Horde of the Champions and the Champs, it's up to the exiled king to reclaim the throne of Stormwind. Wow, dude. Finally, 10-3. The Hour of Infinity. In his attempt to understand the nature of the eighth cosmic force, Nosdormu, together with the heroes of Azeroth, travels into the destroyed future to study the pattern of uncreation. That kind of sounds cool. He realizes that Azeroth, as manifestation of reality, was built upon a cosmological imbalance. In order for reality to become the center of everything, it had to abandon its antithesis into the void beyond the void. I'm getting high just reading this, dude. Infuriated about the truth of the original sin, okay, the former bronze aspect develops empathy for the uncreation. As he mourns over the betrayed cosmic force, Nosdormu gives in to the whispers of its little brother, And as he listens to the void, he turns into Murazan. There at the end of time and the beginning of the infinite void, the heroes must fight their fallen friend in order to survive. Oh god. He just ripped another fatty. And he was like, alright dude, there at the end of time and the beginning of the infinite void. How anime does that sound? The heroes of Azeroth must fight their fallen friend in order to survive and save reality. Okay, we got the plot, but now let's go back. Okay, so we got the Dragon Isles, Inner Core, sure, whatever. The Chronomancer, it's very timey-wimey. So, you know, we got no details on this, but at least that kind of made sense. The whole Draconic bloodline, this made no sense. It's like, I don't know where, you know, what does this have to do with like anything in the plot here? The Hearthstone thing, total side shit. Sands of Time, that kind of made sense. The revamped archaeology, well, I just want that back. That's cool. Fucking build your own racing car. Like, why? What's the point? Is it because you're gonna go back in time? You know? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so last one. Oh wait, this is it. It's just a picture. A very bad picture. World of Warcraft, Reign of the Okay, where I gotta find my Cataclysm thing. Yeah, it's the same. The frame, actually no, it's not the same. I'm sure it's the same as something else. But okay, this is like a little different. This one is like kind of brushed over, or like it's not jacked up like the Cataclysm one is. Cataclysm one is like partially damaged and all that, but I'm pretty sure that it's like similar to like another thing. Let's just find another one. Nope, not that one. Not BFA, not Kata. We looked. Not Legion. Mystices? Nope, not Mists. Not that one. Warlords. No, not that either. How about Wrath? Nope. So the thing on logos is that you could always just put something over it. And I have a feeling that like this part here is just some separate asset that they put over stuff, or that they put over the original thing. Let me try again with some of these other ones. So notice the wrappings here on this side, how those look kind of ribbony. These mist ones, you know, the wrapping is like dragons, and then we see like, you know, the Warlords one are like little iron rivet looking, the iron shits, whatever. This one is like this one has kind of that icy look to it, but no ties or bindings there. That looks unique, but it really could be anything. But so far I don't know. So I can't really say anything yet. Well, I personally don't believe this is the actual logo or real leak. I want to point out some design differences that could this person kind of broke it down. Like the bindings are different. The A, I'll have to look at that too. Yeah, most of my attention is being put here and here because they are different. Yeah, because this is a fairly good logo, but it's very plain too. The background, it's like for all that we see here on the background, the rest of it looks plain. Like there's like not much framing here at all, and that's super like low detail. It's kind of jank. Get another layer. So here's what gets me. See this smudge here? Yeah. You fucked up, dude. You fucked up. For as convincing the framing is, I need to figure this out. the framing and all that, but what gives with this, with that shit right there? So it's the, you're saying it's the Warlord's frame? I could have swore we were just looking at that one, and that one. Here you go, Warlords. Nah, this is the Warlords one. It's hella different. Yeah. Actually, I'll show it this side because you can't see the left side. Yeah. Totally different stuff. So this frame is different. Now, this could be anything. They could have gotten anything that has that sort of arc to it and just slapped it on. It's this right here. that big fucking smudge. That obviously tells me that this current image was doctored. That's all I need to see to be like, oh, okay, it's fake, but what kind of fake? But it's also like kind of well done too. I think this logo one is probably my favorite out of today's. The other ones were just like and I admit that I was I think I was hyping myself up a little bit with that 4chan one with the drama and all that stuff, but that one turned out to be just kind of a poorly written, kind of a disappointment there. But let me know what you guys think of this. I'm gonna have links to those leaks below. Of course, if you don't mind, like the video, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys for the next thing. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.